Alright, let's dive into this March Madness, shall we? Because honestly, if you're not already glued to your screen, you're missing out on some of the most electrifying basketball of the year. And 2026. It's shaping up to be a wild ride. Here's the deal, we're down to the wire, the second round games are heating up, and by the end of today, we'll have just 16 teams left standing. But what's really fascinating here isn't just the games, it's the narratives, the upsets, and the sheer unpredictability that makes March Madness, well, madness. First off, let's talk about the big dogs. Florida, UConn, Virginia, Kansas, these are the names that dominate the headlines, and for good reason. They've won 5 of the last 6 national championships. But here's the thing, in March Madness, past success doesn't guarantee anything. Personally, I think what makes this year so intriguing is how these powerhouse teams are being tested. Take UConn, for example. They're up against UCLA, a number 7 seed that's been playing with a chip on their shoulder. UCLA isn't just here to participate, they're here to prove something. And if you take a step back and think about it, that's what makes this tournament so great. It's not just about the favorites, it's about the underdogs who refuse to go quietly. Now, let's talk about Kentucky. Mark Pope's Wildcats are in a similar spot, facing Iowa State. But here's where it gets interesting, Iowa State's star forward, Joshua Jefferson, is out with an ankle injury. Jefferson is a do-it-all player, scoring, rebounding, assists, you name it. Without him, Iowa State is essentially a different team. And Kentucky? They're riding high after a miraculous overtime win against Santa Clara. What this really suggests is that momentum matters, but so does adaptability. Iowa State has to reinvent themselves on the fly, and that's no small feat. One thing that immediately stands out is how injuries can completely shift the dynamics of these games. C.J. Cox from Purdue, for instance, went down with a knee injury against Miami. Cox was on fire, hitting 3 massive triples in the first half. His absence could have been a turning point, but Purdue still pulled through. What many people don't realize is how deep these teams' benches really are. Jakari Harris and Omer Mayer stepped up, and that's the beauty of this tournament, it's not just about the stars, it's about the entire roster. Speaking of Purdue, their game against Miami was a nail-biter. Miami came out swinging, leading by 7 at one point, but Purdue's efficiency, hitting 21 of 22 free throws, shooting 53.2% from the floor, was just too much. Fletcher Loyer's 24 points were huge, but it was the team's overall performance that sealed the deal. This raises a deeper question, can Purdue keep this level of play up as they move deeper into the tournament? Because if they do, they're a serious threat. Now, let's zoom out for a second. The chalkiness of the first weekend has been notable, with higher-seeded teams dominating. But Sunday's games feel different. There's a sense of unpredictability in the air. Alabama versus Texas Tech. That's a toss-up. Both teams have the talent to make a deep run, but it's going to come down to who wants it more. And that's the beauty of March Madness, it's not just about skill, it's about heart, grit, and sometimes, a little bit of luck. What makes this really interesting is how these games are more than just basketball. They're stories. Kentucky's fight for a second straight Sweet 16 under Mark Pope. Iowa State's battle without their star player. Purdue's quest to prove they're not just a regular season powerhouse. These narratives are what keep us glued to our screens, refreshing our brackets, and yelling at our TVs. So as we head into the final games of the weekend, here's my takeaway. Don't just watch the games. Watch the stories. Because in March Madness, it's not just about who wins or loses, it's about the journey, the surprises, and the moments that remind us why we love this game. Personally, I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. What about you? Who's your pick to make a Cinderella run? Let me know in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going.